You guys ready?
Yes.
Howdy, friends. We're going to call the SMART board meeting to order here at 2 p.m. on Thursday, February the 26th. If you could please rise if you can and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, Ms. Martin, can I get a roll call, please?
Chairman John Paul Rea.
Present.
Vice Chairperson, Mr. Eli Cooper.
Present.
Ms. Sheila Cote.
Present.
Dr. Curtis Ivory. Mr. Royce Manico.
Here.
Ms. Diana McBroom.
Here.
Mr. Assad Turfy.
Present.
Thank you, Ms. Martin, and the board has quorum. Next, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the adoption of the agenda.
Move. I'll support it.
Been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, Ms. Martin, may we please have the certification of public notice?
SMART will hold the Board of Directors meeting on Thursday, February 26, 2026 at 2 p.m. at the Buell Building, located at 535 Griswold Street, Suite 600, Detroit, Michigan 48226. The agenda can be found on SMART's website. Members of the public may also submit a written, to attend virtually on a smartphone, tablet, or computer. Please enter the web browser information on the public notice. Members of the public may also submit a written comment by emailing us at smartboard@smartbus.org by 1 p.m. Requests for reasonable accommodations at SMART require advance reservations. Public comments will proceed as follows. All comments 3 minutes, three-minute limit per member of the public. Public comments will be received in the following order. 1, members of the public who attend in person. 2, members of the public present via Zoom. 3, written comments via email. This meeting is open to the public.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Appreciate that. Next, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the board meeting minutes from January the 22nd, 2026.
So moved, Mr.
Been
Chairman.
moved, supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we welcome members of the public looking to address the board. For all of you that are here in person, if you could please step to the podium, provide your name, place of residence, that would be greatly appreciated. And as always, we will be mindful of 3 minutes per speaker. And I apologize if I have to use the gavel. Brother Cunningham, how we doing, sir?
How you doing? I made some ghetto flyers, I call them, very professional looking, but I gave them out to the public. They had no idea this meeting was happening.
Sure.
So he's here, and he wants to go first. He's gonna talk about the fast bus.
Sure.
Yeah, so I've been riding the bus for a long time.
Sir, can we have your name and place of residence?
Jeremy Guyton. And what was the other one?
And place of residence.
Place of residence, Detroit, Michigan.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. As far as the fast bus, idea I had is I think it should run 24 hours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But how long do I have?
Yeah, you have 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also, I think it should be more stops within the city limits.
Let's keep going.
And this is just regarding fast, not just our smart bus in general, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, as far as a smart bus, they used to stop in the city to pick up. They no longer do that. The fast bus stop at, the fast bus stops, but the smart bus doesn't stop in the city. It used to. So that's a big burden. Yes, something you want to add? Okay. That was all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Getting new people is always good, no matter what. Because they know I've been doing this over a decade. They come to me and fill my ear up. well, so you tell them this, you tell them that. I said, well, you come yourself, because I want to use my 3 minutes. Uh, So at any rate, 313-444-9114, 313-444-9114, 313-444-9114. That number was made so you can remember it. That's my Cash App, Patreon. You can Google, get articles about what I do. I give out hand warmers, gloves, and bus tickets at the bus stops. It really brightens people's day. The biggest burden I have is the hand warmers and bus tickets. It's just a need. So if it's personal or maybe smart, I don't know, but I need bus tickets always. I don't make money off of those. I just pay it forward. Sometimes I feel like I'm tested because people will come to me and say, I give you this for them. I give you that for that. I said, no, don't disrespect me. I ain't never done that. No. But it's just some weeks are different and you just gotta treat people with respect. Like I don't sell them. Here's a ticket. You have a great day. But I like the idea of 24-hour fast bus, Van Dyke Fast, Grand River Fast, and also equipping the old and the new buses with plugs. Thank you for the Wi-Fi that's coming. Bravo, bravo. And we need benches and shelters at the fast bus stops. DDOT only has 5% of them have places. So people at DDOT and Smart Bus people consider that same bench and shelter if y'all got the money. When you have the money, you can do something to help somebody, you do it. And also at the Hargrove Trans Center and at the Rosa Parks Trans Center, I'm doing the best I can. A lot of people say they're hungry. So if y'all want to make some bologna sandwiches or some PB&J, there's a lot of homeless population in those areas, or just pay it forward through me. I'm out there with them every day. I've been hearing that. So thank you so much. And one more time, 313-444-9114. Cash App, Patreon, Google, Facebook, I'll pop up. And thank you for all you do, Miss Tiffany. Appreciate you. You raised a good son. That was a good meeting. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Brother Cunningham.
Can you hands on the mic, please?
Am I in the camera view? Cool. My name is Stephen Hammondtree from East Point. You probably all know me pretty well already. I wanted to share one of my latest adventures, both bad and good, on the same day. I've already spoken to customer service about both of these drivers, but I haven't received a response yet. On Tuesday, the 17th, I decided to make a trip in this new to me mobility scooter. And it was only the second time I was ever boarding a fixed route bus with this. The driver I got to go to Meyer was impatient, rude, and when I wasn't quite positioned right and wasn't ready for the arm to go down, she pushed the button to start the arm going down anyway. No, I'm misremembering that. I pushed the button, but then realized I was in the wrong spot. So I stopped the button. I stopped the arm. It started beeping, and the bus driver started to drive off before I told her it wasn't actually secured yet. And she muttered unkind things at me. I didn't hear her exact words, but it sounded like she was annoyed at me for holding everyone up as I was trying to position myself safely. After she left Mac and Moros 10 minutes late, by the way. And then going back from Meyer, I had trouble getting my scooter in the right spot and got frustrated with myself almost to the point of giving up. That driver, though, was encouraging, patient. He was all the things a driver should be. He encouraged me to take my time and get it right, and I did, and I was able to get that ride home. So I wanted to recognize that driver for his kindness. I have other things to say, but I will say those privately with the relevant people in the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Always good to see you.
You too.
Any other members of the public present here today looking to address the board in person? Going once, twice, 3 times in person. We will go to Zoom. I believe there's one individual online. We could please have the name.
Thank you, Chairman Rhea. Good afternoon, members of the public, members of the board. Robert Plowski here, calling in from my home in Southgate, longtime transit advocate, rider, and our at-large member for our Smart Advisory Council. Before I begin my comments, I'd like to recognize all of our transit employees as March 18th is approaching. So National Transit Employee Appreciation Day is coming abroad. So I want to give a big shout out to all of our smart drivers, our mechanics, and all of our employees for all the wonderful service they do and continue the great work. And I think I see Troy Mosley in the back, so I'll give a big shout out to all his amazing work as well. Just want to echo the comments here that transit is very much a conversation of topic this year, especially with Wayne County. I had the pleasure to attend the State of the County address hosted by Warren Evans in Wayne County on February 11th. Truly impressed by the planned service rollout that I'll be looking at if this millage service is proposed and passed by August, I'm hearing as correct. I want to encourage the Wayne County delegation and mostly SMART to continue those conversations in Western Wayne County, especially in our downriver communities. I have been doing some digging myself amongst residents, and I have been getting a mixed service of responses from people, especially amongst people I've talked to in the community. They see it as essential need, but most of them see it as a huge waste of money. And as I'm going to city council meetings in other areas across downriver from Rockwood to Brownstown and to Woodhaven, a lot of mixed responses. So I encourage not just our transit advocates, but our entire folks that are actually at the policy making at hand to continue to have these increased conversations. This is a critical piece of millage services that'll be increased all across the county. This is going to be a huge service increase for our communities, especially me as a longtime SMART user. Those conversations are collaboration, and collaboration is currency when we get things done. So continue those conversations. Please continue to build those relationships, because the more positive impact we have on transit, the more we'll continue to see growth in our system and more support from all people across both sides of the aisle. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all next month.
Thank you, Robert. Any other members of the public looking to address the board via Zoom today? I believe we have another. Joel Batterman. Joel, I believe you are now off mute, sir.
Good afternoon. Can I be heard?
Yep, we got you, Joel.
Great. Joel Batterman here. I'm a Wayne County resident, and I'm campaigns manager for Transportation Riders United, TRUE, which advocates for better public transit in the metropolitan area. We were very excited earlier this month to see SMART's draft evaluation for expanding public transit across Wayne County. Hope that folks have had a chance to read it or at least take a look. In brief, it's a common sense proposal for expanding transit into Western Wayne County and downriver. In Western Wayne, we're excited to see multiple new and extended fixed routes serving Plymouth, Northville, Canton, and Livonia. Those will connect people to places like Schoolcraft, to St. Mary's Hospital, Livonia, and the Ford Road Commercial Corridor, among others. In the downriver area, there are new and extended routes to Brownstown, Flat Rock, and Rockwood. Additional funds will support flex dial-a-ride service in more rural areas, as well as the community transit services provided through Nankin Transit and the City of Livonia. One place where we would like to see some additional service is connections between Western Wayne and Washtenaw County. There's a lot of commuting between those areas. They're socially and economically very integrated with each other, and they need to be connected by transit. As currently proposed, there would be a 2-mile gap between SMART and the closest Ann Arbor Area Transportation Authority route on Michigan Avenue, east of Ypsilanti. It would be great to extend the new 262 Fast Michigan route all the way to downtown Ypsilanti and the transit center there. We've been told that SMART is in conversation with AATA about that cross-county service. and we urge both agencies to make it happen. If it's approved by voters in August, this proposal would represent the largest expansion of fixed route transit service in the metro region in probably decades. It would make a huge difference in the lives of thousands of people, connecting folks to jobs, education, and opportunity. We look forward to working with SMART and Wayne County to educate the public on the proposal in the months ahead. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Joel. Any other members of the public looking to address the board online?
Chairman.
Alrighty, we'll go once, twice, 3 times online. Any correspondence to the board?
Chairman.
Thank you so much. With that, we will close public comment and always appreciate members of the public looking to engage the board. Next, we will move on to the chairman's report as Ms. Gunter has a number of items to discuss with us today. I will yield my time to the general manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, everyone. I am going to be as brief as I can, but the month of February has been very exciting. So let me just jump right in. It reflects truly the full spectrum of leadership required at SMART during this period we're in of stabilization and renewal. We have been pairing strong regional, state, and federal visibility with disciplined boots on the ground operational recovery. And we understand that external credibility has to be matched by internal reliability. And we are advancing both with intention and urgency. Operationally, we are seeing clear, measurable progress. System-wide on-time performance has improved over the last 3 weeks from an average of 65%, which is abysmal, to 79%. Signaling, thank you, that deserves applause, I agree, thank you. We have not yet met our industry standard, we are not slowing down, but that improvement signals that sharpened accountability, clear expectations, and stronger daily execution produce results. While this continued focus is required to sustain and improve and further improvements on our performance, this trajectory that we have confirms that renewed operational discipline is restoring service reliability and public confidence. And we're starting to hear just that from our riders. Externally, SMART has maintained a visible and active presence across the region. I have too many events to name them all, but I want to note a few of them. Just recently, I was appointed to the Metropolitan Affairs Coalition Board, which is the kind of cross and intersection of business, labor, education, and government, and that further elevates our voice in this regional policy discussion and cross-sector coordination. This role ensures that we remain central to the conversations that shape the region, and that's a big deal. So taken together, these efforts reflect a leadership approach, and this is the full leadership team that I want to acknowledge, grounded in visibility, accountability, and trust, positioning us as an organization that delivers both confidence and results while continuing the work of recovering our operations and being the SMART that people were accustomed to back in the day. And I'm excited about that. I'll close with this. Over the past month, we have stayed focused on that operational recovery. We are seeing that discipline and accountability are changing the culture of this organization. Our operators, and I'm so glad that our ATU president is here today with us, because I think he can attest to this. Our operators are excited about what's happening right now. Every day, and I don't believe that Ms. Whitfield was able to join us today. Is she here? I didn't see you yet. She's tiny. Stand up, please, Ms. Whitfield. I want to acknowledge the work of our Chief Information Officer. She came on board as our head of IT, and then suddenly she was head of IT operations and maintenance, and she was like, what did I sign up for? But has taken it by the helm every day, Sunday to Sunday. There is a 9 a.m. accountability call to make sure that we are focused on the most important things in this organization. Actually, I'm going to have everybody that's on that call day to day that touches on-time performance that has been involved with this substantial increase to please stand up and be acknowledged. Oh, Bernard's not in the room. Okay, there's more of you. This call has every division of this organization working together and communicating effectively on what needs to be done. And that has never been done here before in this organization. So publicly, Ms. Whitfield, I want to say thank you for your leadership in that area. It makes a difference. A couple other fun things that have happened just yesterday evening. I was invited by the former Speaker of the House, Representative Joe Tate, to be his guest at the State of the State address. I was there with many familiar faces as well as we listened to our Governor Whitmer give her final State of the State speech. And it was a great opportunity to have a lot of connections with folks who are also saying great things about SMART. So it was very uplifting to engage with that yesterday evening. Just the week before that, we were at the Wayne County State of the County address where the concept plan, which you've already heard about from some of the public comment, was announced. And it was so encouraging to see that transit was top of mind for the county executive. It was actually what he opened with for his speech. And thank you, Director Turfy. I assume you had something to do with that. You might know a guy. And so, again, just another great opportunity to have this conversation, this very important conversation about public transportation in the places that matter the most, especially in this year. This internally as well, we deployed mobile health units. As everyone knows, February is Heart Health Month. And at each of the garages, we were able to have our operators, our mechanics, and as well as our administrative team do their health screenings right there while they were at work. Sometimes we know it's hard to get a doctor's appointment and keep it with work and everything else that's taking place in life. So we were excited to be able to do that. And also our employees said they appreciated it. We will continue to do those things that support employee wellness. Lastly, we have done some things that are just community-facing efforts that have received a lot of attention in the past month. Chief among them was deploying our warming buses throughout the region, and we partnered with DDOT to do this as well. At SMART, if it's under 20 degrees or over 90 degrees, you will see warming buses or cooling buses in the region going forward. This is just simply the right thing to do, and we're going to do it. Meeting people where they are when they need us most. That's what we should do. Last two things, and I promise I'll stop because we have an update from our federal lobbyists, is that we have done it. We have deployed Wi-Fi on our SMART Fast buses. It's been a long time coming. I'm gonna clap that, clap it up. All right, so that is exciting, but we're not done. Actually, today we're gonna be taking some actions here where we're hoping to get the routers to be able to outfit the entire fleet so that all of our fleet is equipped with Wi-Fi. And that is something that our riders have been asking us for a long time, and we are so happy to be able to deliver that. And we'll continue to modernize our vehicles the best we can with the resources that we have. And lastly, last weekend was Valentine's Day, and we started something new. We called it Smart After Dark, and we brought shuttles in from all over the region into downtown Detroit and introduced our mascot. I think that mascot is here because our mascot only wanted one thing, and that was to take a picture with the board of directors at SMART. So if you all could humor me, this is a large part of our engagement. Smarty hugged several children and took pictures with just about everyone. We have a lot of social media out there on this, and it's just another way to engage the community and have a great time with them. So we're going to take a picture just right along here. We're going to put Smarty right in the center, and you guys can just flank him on the sides. And Smarty, if you're not over 5'9", you can't really see that good. So, yep, and you can just on that side, this side, come on this way. And I got lots of pictures with Smarty. I'll get in this one. Yeah, I'm gonna be in this. I already got here. I need you guys. Smarty. Can you?
Yep, you're good, don't worry.
Cool. Are we good, guys?
You ready?
Yeah.
Right, 10. Couple more, please.
Check the film.
Check the cleanliness of your camera. We had experience. We got history in this.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ricky. Thank you, Smarty. High five. You know, you don't know where I am. Okay, all right, there we go. Tamika, you're wonderful. This is Tamika Reeves. She's out of the Wayne Terminal, and she was the only brave soul that volunteered to wear this costume today. Make it past the flag. Thank you, guys. And with that, I am going to conclude. Make it have fun, right? So with that, I'm going to conclude my portion of the update, but I do want to introduce our federal lobbyists who are here from DC, Holland and Knight, Ms. Shauna Watley and Jeff Booth, to give us an update on what's happening with funding at the federal level for public transportation. You can just use the mic right there at that podium. Welcome, Shauna. Welcome, Jeff.
Sean and Jeff, thanks for joining us. And members of the board, there is a brief 2-page synopsis that's also in our pack, 3-page synopsis that's in our packet. So thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and board members. Thank you so much, Madam President. We are with Holland and Knight. I'm Shauna Watley, Senior Policy Advisor with the firm, and I lead our local government and transportation group, co-lead. And this is my colleague, Jeff Booth.
Jeff Booth Transit Consulting, former lawyer with Holland and Knight, and I hired Shauna, so.
Yes, 18 years later, we're still together.
That's awesome.
So let me go ahead and move forward with the slide. So we're here to give you a quick update on what's happening here in Washington, DC. We will cover fiscal year appropriations, surface transportation reauthorization, what we expect in 2027 as it relates to the budget, federal grants, and kind of a little bit of an overview for 2026 midterm election issues, and then happy to answer any questions. So as you all may know, February 3rd, the president signed the minibus that included the transportation bill that funds all of our transportation programs. And actually, even though it took us a minute to get there, because you probably understand that the budget should have been completed in September 2025, but we had a little thing called a government shutdown. And so it was finally signed in February, and transportation did fairly well in that bill. We were very pleased with the funding level. So quickly, the Build grant, which is a very popular grant, it was known as RAISE, now it's Build, was funded at $145 million. I'm going to just jump down to the transit programs. Federal Transit Administration was funded at $16.5 billion. FTA transit infrastructure grants were funded at $211 million, which is really good because the Senate really pushed hard to have increased funding there. So hopefully we will be able to take advantage of those grant opportunities when they start to roll out in the spring. And then we had FTA Capital Investment Grants Program was funded at $1.7 billion. And then the FTA Transit Infrastructure Formula Funding was funded at $14.6 billion, which was about level funding. So I'll turn it over to Jeff so he can go over where we are with surface transportation.
So on the last slide that you saw that Shauna put up was just the new general fund monies for the program. It didn't include the advanced appropriations dollars. So for example, the Build grant had another $1.5 billion in advanced appropriations in addition to the new funding in the bill. And likewise, the capital investment grant program had $1.6 billion in guaranteed funding on top of the 1.7 that they provided in the appropriations bill. So, and this sort of leads us into the authorization bill, because the question now for the authorization bill is, are we going to continue advanced appropriations or not? Number one, and more importantly, how are we going to pay for this bill? If you recall, the IIJA was funded almost exclusively by general fund dollars because the trust fund that's funded by the gas tax has not been raised now in 30 plus years. And so it no longer covers the cost of the program. And so since 2008, we've had to appropriate general fund dollars to help keep the program solvent and to continue to maintain the spending level. So that's going to be a big issue in this upcoming authorization bill. We had hope at one point in time that the House Transportation Infrastructure Committee would have begun markup by now, but they have not. And at this point, it seems like that's going to get pushed off. Maybe March. I'd be willing to take a side bet that this bill doesn't get done this calendar year. It doesn't happen until after the elections in 2026 is my bet. So we'll be talking about this again next year. And we'll have to figure out how to bridge that gap to fund the program at its current funding level. So I would try to figure out how to pay for it. But yeah, that's coming up right now. That will have and so it's going to be a complete rewrite to the authorization bill. So we should be paying close attention to that as to how it impacts SMART.
And next on the horizon, coordinator, is fiscal year 27 funding. We will be continuing to keep you all updated on where things stand, but we're starting to move through that process. The House just yesterday announced its guidance and what are the deadlines as it relates to community funded projects. And then also, and we've been keeping in contact with your delegation to make sure if SMART decides to pursue those, we're going to hit those deadlines. And then also, the president has not released his budget yet, so we're thinking that's going to happen in March. And then the process will continue forward. But we are on top of that and we'll continue to keep your leadership informed on how things are moving with fiscal year 27 funding.
The only thing I will add is that the type of projects you should be thinking about are bus shelters, new buses, bus facilities. If you have a bus maintenance facility, you need to fund those, or even your IT infrastructure. There are things that program that are small amount enough to be able to fund through an earmark, but begin to socialize that with your delegation now and in the region to make sure that it's a priority for the members they submitted to the committee.
And I know the leadership has already started to have those conversations, so we're in good timing. So upcoming grants, we have different grants that are funded through the transportation appropriations process. And so we mentioned Build, it closed on February 24th. That's a very, very popular program. You'll have the pilot program from TOD Planning, bus and bus facilities and low and no emission grants funding. NOFO should be coming out, expected soon. And then Port Infrastructure Development Program, we should be hearing that deadline is February 28th, which I think is today. Okay. And then it's the 2026 midterm election outlook. And so some of the issues that are going to be big, the healthcare and ACA subsidies, the federal shutdown impact, redistricting and elections, and then election themes and volatility. So over these next few months, we're going to see how these things play themselves out and how it will impact transportation and transit. And we're going to be following those very closely and keeping you all abreast of how things are kind of moving in Washington, and happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Sean and Jeff, as always, thank you for the advocacy in DC and helping us navigate some undoubtedly very complex matters in our nation's capital, and incredibly appreciative too of the influence and impact and coordination with our federal delegation, not only as we've been successful, obviously with the announcement that we made at our last board meeting with regards to the $1 million that was coming in for smart spaces and things of that magnitude, but undoubtedly we have a number of very large aspirations that tie into a number of other elements, that whether it's with our brother and sister operators in the region, but really understanding how new and modern facilities are deployed throughout the region on that side. So definitely want to make sure that we're connected on that end. I will open up to any questions. We'll start for Sean and Jeff on their presentation. Any comments, questions, insights from members of the board? Seeing none on that front. Anything for Tiffany?
That's the last thing I wanted them to give their update before I talked about the fact that for the build grants, we did go after 2 build grants for both Woodward and Gratiot for various different types of infrastructure improvements and planning. And we are currently working internally to look at what capital funds we currently have and how we're going to allocate them for our facilities and where the shortfalls exist, so we know where we are applying for dollars in the future. And I just do want to say that H&K has been a wonderful partner in helping us navigate sort of the tangled web of transportation funding that is DC right now, and making it plain for us on where we should be pushing and where we don't need to spend the time, such as the port grants that we obviously did not go after. So thank you again for being here, and I'll see you next week in DC.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean and Jeff. Appreciate it. Need a motion to receive and file the general manager's report, please.
So moved.
Moved. Supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we're going to move on to 10 board briefings. Jordan, Danny, and Tracy, we're going to start with our fixed route Q4 ridership report with Jordan. And that is in your packet, board members.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Fixed route ridership was on par with the same quarter last year, even despite the winter that we've had. October and November 2025 saw modest increases, while December saw a slight decrease from the same period previous year. Overall, there were about 44,000 more riders the last quarter of 2025 compared to 2024. The top routes in each service county also held steady. Fast Michigan saw a slight decrease the last quarter, notably in December. Conversely, Fast Woodward saw a marked increase in ridership during the same period of nearly 23,000 more rides. A year-over-year increase of 13%, which is big. Gratiot Local saw a slight decrease in ridership, while Fast Gratiot saw a slight increase. And we expect these to sort of balance out as we increase the frequency on the fast routes this year. I also wanted to take a moment to highlight some of the high-performing routes where we see sizable ridership increases. I already talked a little bit about Fast Woodward, which we expect to see even greater uptake throughout this year with our frequency improvements that were implemented in January. Two of our newer routes also continue to see growth in ridership as they become solid connections between communities. 492 Rochester saw a 9% increase in ridership quarter over quarter. 759 Highland grew by about 7%. Other routes, including Crosstowns, Main Street, Van Dyke, also saw year-over-year increases. This is particularly exciting given the enhancements that we're implementing this year, the increased frequency on 9 Mile that already took effect, and that's the system's highest ridership crosstown, and the extension of Main Street to serve more communities and make connections to the network. So that is all. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jordan. As always, appreciate the update on that end. Any questions from members of the board? All righty. Jordan, thank you. Danny, I
Thank
believe
you.
you are up next with the paratransit report, Q4 ridership.
Good afternoon.
How we doing, Danny?
Chair, members of the board. All right. Let's wait for it to click over here. All right, so we are here. I'm here to present the Q4 paratransit ridership report. So following Jordan's lead, we are seeing ridership continue to increase as well, quarter after quarter on the paratransit side. So up on the screen is the weekday ridership, and this is including our ADA and general service ridership. On the on-time performance on the weekday, we did see a decline. We still stayed strong above 83% for each of the months. However, we did see the decline, and lucky and happy to announce that we have rebounded first of the year. So looking forward, we, as Tiffany alluded to earlier and mentioned, this is something we're still monitoring, even though we've had kind of consistently strong ridership. We are still looking at every avenue to how do we get even better and make it stronger in time performance. Saturdays, as we have been going through every report, is continuing to grow. Every weekend, it seems like we are hitting a new milestone on either Saturday or Sunday ridership, and that should continue to grow, especially with new routes coming online and some of those changes with smarter mobility. The on-time performance for Saturday, again, took a dip in those 3 months last year, but still stayed strong. So the positive that we're seeing is it's never going below 85, but we've had success in the 90s, and that's where we're striving to get back to. On Sunday, again, we saw the biggest growth here. So when looking at 4 or 5 weekends or Sundays in a month, seeing a ridership jump of 100, that average weekend Sunday is really growing, and we're seeing it every single week. On-time performance again dipped a little bit, but on Sundays it stayed over 90%. This past Sunday, we actually were at 94% for our on-time performance. So again, a lot of efforts are going into this department-wide to achieve this for the ridership in the region. And then as a full total for each month, again, seeing the growth. December, well, it kind of comes together more. A lot of that's when the holidays fall, depending on, what schools are closed, what programs are closed. So while we are seeing an increase, we understand why there's kind of some symmetry year after year within those months. And then as an overall, again, staying 84-85% every single month for the entirety of the service. So with that, I'll entertain any questions.
Danny, appreciate the update. Sad.
Yes, so just for clarity, the decline in those 3 months, is it in line and par from what we've seen in the same 3 months last year?
For ridership?
Yes.
So the ridership, yeah, we are seeing the same trajectory, even though there's a slight increase. If the holiday falls on a certain day, we do a lot of transportation for ADA riders going to some schools in Macomb County. Depending on when they're closed and when the holidays fall, those 200-300 rides a day can shift the ridership in those months. And then you add in snow days, other days off. And that is where some of the aligning comes in. October is where we try and gauge the most, and seeing bigger growth in October, we see that means more indicative of what ridership is regularly.
Yeah. Is there any correlation between the on-time performance and the ridership there?
So a little bit, right? The trips are longer, which has more variables, especially with road construction programs. The longer our paratransit trips are going, obviously they're traversing more roads. 696 has been a big issue for us. And even if we're not routing them around, the filtering to other roads still impacts our drivers. So the longer that each trip goes, there are those variables that can impact our on-time performance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Eli.
This is maybe more of a comment than a question, but it brings together the last 3 presentations. We heard that there's potential federal interest in shelters and access to transit. We're seeing the fixed route system on time increasing, being more efficient and effective.
Mhm.
And the paratransit, which I hate to say this out loud publicly, on a per rider per trip basis is our highest cost product.
Yes.
The issue is to combine access to the fixed route system using shelters and sidewalks to decrease the increase in paratransit. I think it's great that more people are relying on us. I'd prefer that we are able to have a policy in order to encourage access to the fixed route where the costs are pennies on a dollar for a fixed route trip than a paratransit trip. It's kind of a new idea, but hearing these 3 things together, the smarter spaces, the federal funding, the fixed route on time being reliable, this is all great news. Just an opportunity for staff to synthesize some of this as we move forward over time. Thank you.
Yeah. If I could respond a little bit. So we actually had a meeting this week with one of the larger programs in Macomb County about that exact topic. How do we increase the education for riders who are relying on paratransit to increase that independence? We brought in our travel trainer to that meeting where she explained to that group what she is doing and what barriers she's facing. And collectively, we're going to try and work with those groups to get more support for the travel training program, as we know that fixed route can create independence and a lot of positives for the lifestyle for people who can learn that to traverse that system. So we are in line with that. We are looking through them to other advocacy groups and groups that work with riders to increase that education and hopefully travel training. We've seen too many success stories that we want to keep that going.
Eli, I think you've hit it head on. As we've not only been able to focus on the reliability, now we can very much begin to activate the empowerment side. I think it's been critical, not only as we've been having to have a number of really difficult conversations on the east side with some of the agencies that we serve, that Danny and team have been engaged with many, many, many years, but as we now see that efficiency scaling on a number of fixed route rides, and as we look at where the sidewalk ends to where these destinations are and how we get those students there, I think it just becomes looking at what side of the Rubik's Cube and how this works on our end. But I think that's spot on. And as we're not only going to get some more information on the NOFOs to really understand how we activate some of those smart spaces so they're accessible and candidly welcoming to all individuals of all abilities in the system. So Excellent. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And now I think we're going to put a bow on this, and Tracy's going to come up and give us an update on the Flex Q4 ridership.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and board members. Today I'll be presenting to you the Smart Flex Performance Summary for quarter 2025. Please bear with me. All right. Okay, as you can see, I'll be presenting for the passengers for all zones, which is Dearborn, Troy, Pontiac, Farmington, and Hall Road. It grew 13 to 16% compared to last year. So in October alone, we served 35,588 passengers versus 31,360 in 2024. So numbers did dip slightly in November, which is typical for that time of year. Excuse me. So the trend here is more, I'm sorry. The trend is more clear with the numbers shown here between October, November, and December. Going to the, excuse me, the average pickups for the ETA. I'm here even with the riders using the service, we realized that the average pickup wait times stayed around about 21 minutes. And it's almost identical to year 2024. It tells us that as demand went up, our operations really kept pace. So we're excited about that. Riders were not waiting much longer, but the quality and the experience did not slip. That kind of stability is what we're looking for. Plus, we are actually working on making the ETA time even better. We're pushing for, instead of 21%, 20%, we're really pushing for 15 to 18%. Our cost per rides. The cost per rides provide each ride that came down in 2025 compared to 2024, and that's in every month. So in November, the cost per ride dropped at $18.72 and down from $20.22 the year before. So by December, the 2 years pretty much came close together at around $20.35 for 2025 versus $20.58 for 2024. So again, what we are pushing forward to is, you know, the spirit of excellence in this service and see what we can do to just head stronger in a better year for 2026. That's all I have. If you have any questions, I'm here and available.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
So for average pickup ETA, you said 21%. You referred to as percent. Are we talking about minutes?
I'm sorry.
Is it minutes?
I'm sorry. I did say percent, but it is minute by minute.
Okay. All right, and the assumption is it's from the time of order, when they ordered it up, to the time of arrival, right?
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Tracy, thanks so much for the update.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. The chair would entertain a motion to receive and file the fixed route, paratransit, and flex Q4 ridership reports.
So moved,
please.
Mr. Chairman.
Been moved, supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Ryan, I think we're going to talk about some dollars and cents, our Q2 financial report.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna share my screen real quick and touch on just a couple of things. I'm happy to report that this quarter has gone largely according to plan and within budget, so I won't read through the entire report with everybody, but I'll highlight just a few things. Our balance sheet, I know you maybe, I say this a lot, but it remains stable. We meet our current obligations. I do want to give some kudos to my grant receivables team, and you'll see a notable decrease in our grants receivable outstanding. So that's just their continued effort to make sure we're collecting things and billing things timely. I am going to jump down to the functional income statement, you will note that we are about $8.9 million behind budget on revenue. That is for a variety of factors. Some of our revenue sources come from reimbursements based on expenditures, so you will also see a corresponding, we are also under budget on expenditures. So a lot of it is as a result of that. Certain other items, particularly consultants and certain special projects that we have going on, we draw the revenue as we complete the project, and as some of those projects, including my own financial system upgrade, which is well underway but not complete, have not kicked off. We haven't drawn the revenue associated with those either. We are again a little under expense budget too, leaving us ahead by, $2.8 million. I'd be happy to go through any of these line items individually or provide more analysis. But I will open it up for questions.
Ryan, as always, appreciate the update. Tiffany, anything before we open up to the board?
You know what? Ryan did a great job.
Perfect. Open up to members of the board. Any questions, comments, insights for Ryan on the Q2 financials? Seeing none, Chair would entertain a motion to receive and file the Q2 financial report. Been moved? Supported? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. All righty, friends, we are going to move on to new business 11A. Approval of labor agreement with ASME Local 1786 Supervisor Unit. Tiana, how are we doing today?
I am well. How are you?
Doing good.
That's good. Hello, Mr. Chair and members of the board. I am Tiana Lepart, and I am here seeking approval from the staff and outside counsel, seeking approval for the labor agreement of ASME Local 1786. In August 2025, the bargaining team and management team began to negotiate the collective bargaining agreement to replace the agreement that expired on December 31st, 2025. A tentative agreement was reached between the parties on February 5th, 2026. The membership ASME Local 1786 ratified their collective bargaining agreement on February 23rd, 2026. The new agreement includes the following economic changes. The duration would be from February 23rd, 2026 through December 31st, 2028. A base wage increase of 3% that would start the first payroll after ratification. Another base wage increase of 3% that will start January 1st, 2027, and another base wage increase of 3% that will begin on January 1st, 2028. Included in that would be a ratification bonus, Me Too agreement that would include wages and ratification bonuses, a shift premium, training pay increase, improved sickness and accident benefit program, uniform allowance, an increase in improved sick leave act, and that will be in compliance with MISTA, which is the Michigan Earned Sick Time Pay Act. In addition to that, it will be changes to the attendance policy, and we will also incorporate the EEO policy that was adopted by the board on August 28th, 2025. I am available if you have any questions.
Yeah, appreciate you and the entire bargaining team's effort on this and the support, coordination, and partnership with the bargaining units. I will open up to any questions from members of the board.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
With regard to the reduction in amount of time an employee must secure pre-approval for paid sick leave, what was the thinking behind reducing it from 8 hours to 3 hours?
So the thinking behind that was that some employees, you really don't know when you're sick. So we try to show empathy with the employees and let them know that we do need to know when they do call off sick so that we can have time to replace them. And 3 hours was enough time for us to call someone in and get a replacement in the event that they're sick.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tiana. Appreciate that. Anything on your end, Tiffany?
I just wanted to offer and extend my appreciation and gratitude to Tiana and the bargaining team for truly understanding the cultural shift that's happening at this organization and listening across all of our bargaining units. I believe the tone and tenor has changed on how we address their needs and also meet our needs overall as an organization. And that is a big shift in our approach to bargaining. And I look forward to seeing what comes with the next three. We got down one and we got three more to go.
Way to
So
go.
congratulations and thank you to the team.
Thank you.
Seeing no further questions, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the labor agreement with AFSCME Local 1786 Supervisory Unit.
So moved.
Been moved?
I'll support it.
Supported? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we will move on to item B, authorization to award a contract for board meeting software solutions. Tiffany.
Good afternoon, Chairman Rea and members of the board. SMART is seeking authorization to award a contract for board meeting software solutions at an amount not to exceed $236,183 for the 3-year base contract. SMART is in need of digital board meeting software in order to streamline and more effectively administer board and committee meetings. Digital board meeting software will enable SMART to identify additional operational and staff efficiencies with automated agenda creation, streamlined meeting management, reliable and secure video streaming, and record request management solution. The funding for this project is by operating funds. I'm available to answer any questions along with our Granicus representative, Lucas Malavani.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. And Tiffany, I know that we've been discussing this as one of the priorities to ensure that as we are expanding our impact and engagement with members of the public, providing these digital forms and resources undoubtedly will give us more efficiencies and openness, transparency, and connectivity with all members. So anything on your side for this?
It's been a long time coming and I'm really excited to see what comes next with the software. So thank you, Tiffany and the team.
Any questions from members of the board? Seeing none, chair would entertain a motion to award the contract for board meeting software solution.
So moved.
Been moved?
Support.
Supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we are going to discuss an authorization to award a contract for de-escalation and mental health awareness training. Ms. May.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Staff recommends board approval of the resolution authorizing the award of contract for de-escalation and mental health awareness training to Vitality Site in Burlington, New Jersey, for a 3-year contract with 2 one-year renewal options at an amount not to exceed $332,000 for the base years and $100,000 for each option year. De-escalation training is a key component to our mitigation strategy, as outlined in our agency safety plan. The training will be role-specific for operators, supervisors, maintenance staff, customer service, and management. I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Amy. Appreciate it. Any questions for members of the board?
I just have one question.
Ms. Cote.
Is the module, is it evidence-based practice?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Excellent. See no further questions, chair would entertain a motion to approve the contract for de-escalation and mental health awareness training. Been moved? Supported? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Amy. Next, we will move on to item D, authorization to award a contract for wireless Wi-Fi routers. Cassandra.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'm here to request authorization to award a contract for wireless Wi-Fi routers. It is the recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution authorizing the award of a contract for 175 wireless Wi-Fi routers to CDW Government, Inc. in Chicago, Illinois, for a one-time purchase at a total not to exceed $81,168.50. SMART recently instituted a pilot program to outfit the fixed route fast fleet with Wi-Fi routers in order to provide reliable and secure onboard wireless connectivity to the riding public. This pilot program has been very successful, and SMART is seeking board approval to purchase 175 additional wireless routers in order to expand the provision of wireless service across the remaining fixed fleet. Wi-Fi across our fixed fleet also supports the critical operational systems such as CAD and AVL and real-time communication, which will assist SMART in improving on-time performance. Based on SMART's operational needs, the rider expectations, and the critical role that real-time data plays in improving service reliability, SMART staff recommends that the board approve the purchase of 175 Wi-Fi routers to fully equip the fixed route fleet. This investment will standardize onboard connectivity across all vehicles. It will enhance the performance of our essential systems and significantly improve the rider experience. Completing this fleet-wide installation ensures that SMART remains competitive, operationally efficient, and aligned with regional mobility standards. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this request.
Cassandra, thank you for the proposal today. Just one thing off the top of my mind, obviously, we've had some successes with the initial deployment on the fast fleet. About how long do we think of an upfitting process, and what does the phase-in process look like for each one of our shelters? Excuse me, for each one of our service centers?
We're going to use a phased approach. It is our anticipation, once we receive the actual hardware, the routers, it probably will take us about 8 weeks,
Oh, wow.
maybe a little bit more, to outfit the entire fleet.
Sounds good. Tiffany?
So what I would say about this team, Cassandra's 8 weeks, sometimes is her 6 weeks. Real overachiever we have in her. No, when we get them, one of the challenges that we want to make sure that we're mindful of is how we retire our fleet and where we put these resources. So that is how we're going to manage through the installation process. So be patient with us as we make sure that we do this as responsibly as possible with this new hardware. And thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Any other comments from Eli?
So I can't help but take the opportunity to comment that this is so cool. Okay, there have been laws passed to prevent motorists from relying on connected devices while operating motor vehicles.
Yes.
We're so far ahead of the curve by allowing all of our riders the opportunity to engage in whatever social, recreational, work related connecting to the wireless router. This is taking transit and making it the cool way to get around. And by the way, if you're moving and you're online, this is the legal way to do it. So congratulations for
Thank
this.
you.
And I really think it's a step in a very positive direction.
We appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
Seeing no further comments from members of the board, Chair would entertain a motion to approve. Been moved.
Second.
Supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Cassandra. Appreciate it. Next, we got Danny, the minivan man, looking for authorization to award a contract for. Sorry, I had to. I'm sorry.
I'm never gonna live that one down. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon again, Mr. Chair and members of the board. Staff is recommending the board approval for the resolution to authorize a contract for 4 minivans to Hoekstra Transportation in Grand Rapids, Michigan. This is a not to exceed of $294,000, $146, sorry, and 10 cents. The 4 minivans will be utilized by Richmond Lennox directly to provide microtransit service. As part of the Smarter Mobility Program, a recommendation was made to SMART that we institute a pilot program utilizing community partners to operate flex zones. Richmond Lennox was identified as a potential zone, and we outfitted the North Macomb zone in a format to have Richmond Lennox provide that service. These vans will be utilized by them to deliver that flex service. And it gives a consistency from what our vendor VIA is providing to have the same similar vehicles between VIA operated services and then the Richmond Lennox zone. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Danny, appreciate your coordination with Jeff and the entire team at Richmond Lennox EMS. Really excited to see the activation of this new pilot and very hopeful that the deployment of these vehicles leads to more accessibility to the system.
Yes, thank you.
Any questions from members of the board? Seeing none, Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved, supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you,
Thank you.
Danny. Next, we are going to discuss the ratification for payment of services rendered for engine transmission repair and the authorization of additional $30,000 for a 2-year contract. Mr. Burt.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Smarts Board of Directors. It is the recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution, authorize ratification of payment for services rendered and authorize additional funds for 1 year, for year 2 of the contract for fixed route engine and transmission repair with Bill Jones Enterprise for services rendered from June 14, 2025 through February 28, 2026, in an amount not to exceed $176,301.71, and an additional $30,000 for year 2 of the contract from June 14, 2025 through June 13, 2026, should emergency engine and transmission repair services become necessary. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Burt. Any questions from members of the board? Seeing none, Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved. Supported. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Burt. Next, we will move on to item number 12, board member business. Any matters to discuss for members of the board? Mr. Manico.
I noticed at one of the meetings I went to at SIMCOG, we had a presentation on Vimo or Waymo entering the Detroit market. And this autonomous vehicle, I guess, will be rolling out this year and then expanding into the suburbs. And this is the first Midwest market that they've penetrated. They've been in Los Angeles and other Western states. I think at some future date, maybe we could have a presentation on what's going on, particularly since it might have an impact in the future on public transit and what that might do to that rollout of these autonomous vehicles. I did notice in today's news that in Dubai, they're rolling out a taxi, which is like drone-like, and getting certified today. So this is coming very quickly and certainly will have some impacts on us. It might be something we, at our retreat, we may want to just touch on a little bit with staff. But it seems they're being very aggressive. And once that gets out on the street, it provides certainly an option for residents to look at different ways to take a new way of taxi or that, depending on price.
Thank you, Mr. Manico. Appreciate it.
The Judsons.
Yeah.
On the Waymo.
Yeah.
We actually yesterday had an opportunity, both Bernard and I, to speak briefly with the external affairs representatives for Waymo at the State of the State, and ask for some time to have a discussion about exactly what you're asking about how that works together with our system, and that we are good partners. One of the limitations, and I did say this yesterday, we have to be thoughtful about is their limited ability to serve in an accessible fashion everyone. So that is one thing that's kind of held us back a bit, because if you can't serve everybody, it's not really good for all. It's not a universal design, but if it's here and it can work in the ecosystem, we want to make sure that we're plugging in a way that's meaningful. So we should be able to have that conversation before we get together for our retreat. So hopefully we'll be able to bring you some interesting news from that.
Any other comments from members of the board? Seeing none, we will move on to everyone's favorite agenda item, number 13, adjournment. Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Been moved, supported.